Wired access.
We'll do it live.
Wired access.
Do it live.
Wired access.
We'll do it live.
Wired access.
Welcome to Wired Access Podcast, where I'm your host, DJ K-Dub Omaha. We're a Hurrdat Sports production. Man, oh man, we celebrated it last week. We'll celebrate one more time. Omaha Supernovas, they won the championship in the Pro Volleyball Federation in the inaugural year, bringing volleyball back to Nebraska to be the prime. We all know it is. But to my left, I have another Bellevue West basketball player going on to college to the next level. Last week, we had Steven. This week, we have Eldon Turner. Eldon, welcome to the show. Man, I can't believe you graduated this year. And I only say that because I've known Eldon for quite some time through the basketball circuit and through the levels that he has played. Congratulations on Wayne State. You're going to go join a great team down there. We'll get into that process. But when you think of basketball for you and you think of the movements that you have made, what provided some of those ideas of the movements? And I say that because you're a guy who took opportunities at different areas and different programs to learn a lot. Mm-hmm. So you're not coached by one guy in your whole life. Don't get me wrong. Dad is always there. Yeah. Shout out, Willie. Dad is always there. But he lets you be coached by multiple personalities and multiple teams. How do you think that really helped you shape to who you are today?
Yeah. I mean, having being on different teams, having different roles lets me feel different sides that I can be on. So I have a scoring side of me, I have a playmaking side of me, I have just being the hustle guy, all different sides, and whether I need to mesh them together. That's a main thing that really helps a lot. So I mean, if somebody gets hurt, I can fill in a role and do stuff of that nature.
It's a mindset. It's an idea. You brought up a great thing, a role play player. Mm-hmm. What does it mean when you deal with some that aren't that style? How do you kind of try to get them, especially if they're on your team? What's some of the tactics you've had to use to kind of get them to understand in order for us to win, this might be your job to do this game because you're not making the buckets or whatever it could be?
I mean, sometimes you just have to work around it because, I mean, you do come across people that are stubborn like that, but part of it is on the coach. I mean, they should know what they're doing, but also if they're doing a certain thing and they're doing it a lot, they should be getting better at it at one point in time. So, I mean, working around it, just letting them be them, letting them rise up.
When you think of through your journey, obviously you had some time at Papillion, Bellevue. Mm-hmm. What all do you remember of your younger years when it comes to basketball?
Oh boy, I mean, I remember shooting the ball a lot. I mean, as I grew, I got more of a team mindset instead of a me mindset, but I think it was still a good thing to learn the me mindset a little bit, not as a selfish thing, but more as a I know who I am and I know what I could do kind of thing.
And when you think of the teams that you played for, who all do you remember playing for?
So my first team was the All-Stars, and they've had some transformations, which they're now Nebraska Supreme now. So it went from All-Stars to Omaha Blackhawks to Omaha Ice, and then Factory, and then Nebraska Supreme. And I think that's all for that. And then I was with Junior T-Birds the whole circuit. Nebraska Rockets Elite, I had a couple tournaments with them. And some cousins teams, out of town teams, and then I think that's all. How
did we run into each other? Were you doing anything with Papillion? Were you doing anything?
Yeah, I played on their middle school team.
So the Monarchs.
No, I was Papio South Titans.
Papio South Titans middle school.
Yeah.
Did you play any summer league with us?
I'm not
the
sure.
Owls? No. The Bolts? No. Man, I'm just trying to think. Because I swear you've been. Did you play with
my sister? Maybe.
Did you play some Papillion Elite?
No. My sister, maybe she was. She was more Papillion than me. I want to say while she was growing up.
What do you think made your difference, or what brought you guys to the T-Birds? What was the deciding factor? Because in this day and age, parents can move. Yeah. They can do whatever they want.
Yeah. Overall, I think it's safe to say that Bellevue West has had a more successful basketball program, and they've had more players go to a higher level like I'd want to be. So choosing Bellevue West was kind of just a basketball decision more than anything.
And when you think back to that, I mean, you're little 8th grade looking into 9th grade,
Mm-hmm.
making a decision or even talking to, how did that decision come about? What was the conversation you even
I
remember?
mean, there were definitely tears, but I didn't want to lose. I didn't want to leave my friends at Papio South, so that was a big part of it. It was really just, do I want to stay with my friends or do I want to go and be the best that I can for basketball? And yeah, I had to talk with Coach Woodard and all of that. So, I mean, it was pretty well thought out. I mean, there was probably about a month of thought that went into it. So yeah, just basketball was
Was it with coaches, just you and your parents?
a lot of me and my parents, but also I mean, there were friends that were trying to keep me going both ways because I had some friends at Bellevue West, but more at Papio South. And then I think the talk with Coach Woodard was the last thing that really pulled me over.
You see the legacy, obviously, Coach Woodard has left and done at Bellevue West, and you got to be a part of it. What was that part like for you to? We talked to Steven a little bit about it last week, and you think of his last year. No one knew.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have any idea? Did you feel anything until he actually said anything?
You're talking about Woodard.
Yeah,
I mean,
when he retired.
we thought a little bit, and there was a little bit of word going around, but not much. But we just didn't know if it'd be. We knew it was coming soon. We just didn't know if it was this year, the next year, or the next year.
Yeah.
But it was right after state, after we won it junior year. He said, "I need you all to stay in the gym for a minute. I need to talk to you guys." And we were all like, "Yeah, it must be time." Yeah.
What was that like for you? What do you remember about that talk? What do you remember about afterwards?
I just remember being real glad that we left it off the right way for him.
Not everybody gets that, right?
Yeah.
You gotta leave the legacy,
Mhm.
ending on a legacy.
Yeah.
You guys have obviously, your team has been in the championship, won the past 2, been there the past 5.
Yep.
How many of those do you remember? And what does it mean to leave at the top as highest point?
Yeah. I mean, eighth grade and ninth grade, a little bit of 10th, but 8th and 9th are very vague because 8th we couldn't be there obviously because of COVID. So we were watching on the computer through the TV.
Oh, I remember that day.
Yeah.
Gosh,
And then
I remember that.
I remember I lost hope. They went down, I think it was like 16, like 3-4 minutes left, maybe. I was like, yeah, Dad, I'm gonna go upstairs. I heard, oh. It was time to he called me back downstairs. It was a 2-point game. I was like, oh my gosh, no way. And then they hit a shot. Middle North missed a shot. And then yeah, that was the end of that. 9th grade year. That's almost more vague than that because 8th grade was almost a historic year, but 9th grade, man, I just remember.
What'd you play 9th grade for them?
I was sitting varsity playing JV, so
Okay.
I didn't really play varsity. But yeah, I can't remember too much of that. And then sophomore year, I just remember David Harmon. He dunked at the end of the game, put the exclamation mark down, and that hurt. And then next 2 years, I mean, that was just history.
You were able to bring it back. When you
Mhm.
think of just your time of getting to freshman year, you're a one sport athlete. Is that correct through the whole
Yeah.
time? Do you think that helped, hurt, changed possibly where you could have done?
I think it let my focus be known for myself. Like I knew that this is my future and this is what I wanted to go with growing up. So yeah.
What part told you that, or where do you remember that bug coming in? And
Well, when I was little, I played all the sports. I mean, baseball, football, soccer. I played all of them. And then, I mean, they started kind of getting boring for me. So I was like, basketball's the only one that's keeping me awake. And then, I mean, just from that point on, I was like, this is my sport.
you saw what was done prior to you getting to Bellevue West and the legacy that they had. What was some important things that you felt you probably gained from players like Chucky and Frankie?
Yeah.
And
I definitely was getting pushed bad in practice. Going against people like that, coming off of a screen and getting trapped by Will and Chucky. I mean, that's hard enough as it is to be like an 130-pound freshman coming into high school. But yeah, it taught me a lot. It taught me to almost have composure when I'm in moments like that where I usually am the smallest guy on the court, so having my composure and staying with my composure while I'm the smallest guy on the court, just being able to do what I do.
When you think of all of the stuff that you played in the AAU circuit, what do you think was the most impactful part of the AAU for you?
I think it was learning or dealing with new teammates and learning how to play with different people. Like I said, I went from shooting every time I touched it to learning how to make plays for my teammates and get them open and find people who I need to find when they have a hot hand, when they're in the right spot, all of that. So, I mean, just learning how to really play basketball is the most part.
And when you think of your AAU coaches, what was something that you felt they gave you maybe high school didn't give you?
Yeah, I mean, again, with different roles, there were some where I had to be the most confident guy in picking up everybody else, whether they're playing bad, whether they're playing good, just making sure their head is at the right spot. But yeah, and then I've had some coaches that just pushed you, got you ready for the next level, even ready for college, maybe at the 6th, 7th grade, 8th grade level, just with how hard we was doing drills.
Was there a process that you wish that you could have continued through the AAU route as far as whether it is a pre-workout? Because I say like the rhythm seems to change whether it's the start of the game of how you do the start process, whether it's how you get ready, the preparation. Is there any preparation that you wish you could have used differently?
I think maybe when I was younger, just learning how to actually get ready for a game and not deciding to eat 5 minutes before the game and getting my stuff together like right before the game started. I just needed to get in a better headset before the game started.
I think that's for every kid though, and I think life goes so quick that like we don't even. How many times did people tell you stretch? We've told
Yeah.
you,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't do it. You
Yeah.
know, it's like that little stuff that you take for granted because the AAU is just like your select, if that's where how far you've been, or even rec. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you get there 10 minutes early, you get to warm up one quick run through, but
Yep.
there's no real warm up unless you were to get yourself there early
Mm-hmm.
and get prepared to go. How do you think that, though, being able to just get up and go helped you become the dog that you are today?
I mean, a lot of times people say there's not a switch that you could flip, but I feel like I kind of have the switch. I mean, I'm always getting myself ready. I'm not trying to just rely on my switch, but I know that I have a switch that I could flip. If I need to go, then I can go.
I think those switches are important, though. I mean, I say it for like a sport like football.
Mm-hmm.
I always tell people, like, you got to be able to have two different types of person. You got to be
Yeah.
able to where you can be amongst public.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to show what they call the barbaric look or whatever.
Yep.
But amongst football, you have to, I don't give a crap attitude towards
Mhm.
whoever you play, just like in basketball, right?
Yeah.
And you have to be able to change that to where people are talking about you. Man, look at the respectful Eldon. Look at how respectful, but you get in front of him on the basketball court, I'm going to
Yeah.
make you drop to your knees because your ankles are going to fall.
Yeah.
And having that go to.
Uh-huh.
What is that like to have that kind of switch?
I mean, it's just a mentality. I'm almost just knowing that this person in front of me, I'm trying to give them fits. They're not gonna have a fun night with me guarding them.
When you look at your process through the recruiting, when did it start for you?
So freshman year, I don't believe I had anything playing JV. So I mean, not really anything. Sophomore year, I think I started getting some contact with some NAIs. And then junior year, a lot of NAIs, some D2s, some D1s started hitting me up. And then it kind of just fell from the D1s, and Wayne State just stuck with it. So, I mean, they showed a lot of love. So
when you say it fell from the D1s, what did that mean? What does that mean?
I mean, they showed interest, but I mean, they just kind of stopped.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's kind of how the recruiting process goes sometimes.
And the reason I'm kind of digging on this or just trying to get the words right is because hopefully my always goal is one athlete will watch this and go, I'm going through this process right now.
Yeah.
But I'm always thinking they're just dogging me.
Yeah.
But they're not. Like, you've got to be continuously on the uprise for them to stay on you, or you have to do something out of the room to make them where they're always on you.
Yeah.
What was that feeling like to go, okay, D1s, you were what you were, and now this is where I want to be?
I mean, I never really had a problem with Wayne State just because the amount of love they showed. I mean, they're a good program, and they showed love.
They have a lot of local kids that have went there.
Yeah.
Jay Saunders is one I coached for a very short time in football. He didn't last long freshman football. He said, I'm out, I'm doing basketball.
Yeah.
But he is making way out there. And you see those kids from around here. How does that impactful for you to when you went on your visit?
Yeah, it's just more comforting almost. Just knowing I can go around there and have somebody to talk to. I mean,
how many visits did you do?
I believe I went on 3, 2 in the summer and then 1 during the school year.
Was that where all did you go?
What's that?
Was it all Wayne State?
Yeah.
Or where all did you go to any other visits?
Okay. So I went to 3 of my visits were to Wayne State, and then I went to one to Northwestern. It's in Iowa, I believe.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And then what was it that Wayne State had that made you want to go back a couple times? What was just that thought process for you?
I mean, the love and being comfortable around the community there. I mean, it almost felt like I was at home, even though it's not in like a city. Like, yeah, I just felt comfortable there.
Those are key factors. One, to make you want to come there, but make you also feel like you can be there. When you come from obviously a city like Bellevue, the crosstown rivalry, what did that mean to you as a student and a player compared to what it sometimes seems it's supposed to be?
Yeah. I mean, as a freshman, it did feel bigger than it does now, but I don't know, just wanting to be on top, almost just wanting to be, whether it's on the top of the metro, on top of the city, on top of whatever, just wanting to be number one.
You think back to your beginning freshman year. What's one thing you would tell freshman Eldon that you wish someone would have told you when you were a freshman?
Man, I think I've definitely had people tell me it, but one thing you said was stretch. I'm very inflexible. And then another one would just be to eat more, eat as much as I can.
People don't understand. Well, so when I coached at Omaha South, I think one thing I always had to understand is the availability, right? Because I could tell one person to go eat all this steak, and they're like, man, my parents can't give me steak. But it's just calories most of the time. Now, I'm not saying candy and all that.
Yeah.
But just calories. It could have been 4 peanut butter and jelly sandwich. It could have been anything.
Yeah.
And when you think of that process now, how has that changed for you, or what are you trying to adapt? What are you hoping to take to college when it comes to that for yourself?
I mean, I'm definitely trying to put on more weight just because high school and college are a whole different level. I've eaten a lot more protein, and that's a big thing. Protein. Just trying to get my weight up and my strength up so I can be in there with the big dogs.
How's your gym sessions?
I go hard.
Hard?
Yeah, that's
what do you think was your biggest growth if you look at your gym sessions, and where did you gain that growth from?
I think the time in between sets that I would waste. I need to I go hard between each sets. I'm running to the next spot, whatever it is. If I'm not sitting getting water, just all that with conditioning is a major factor. Then I learned that a lot of that from Bellevue West.
And when you think of how important your off seasons were, what was it like to have some teammates that were on that page, and what was some things that you did to kind of let the ones that weren't know of how important it was for you guys to get there and be able to reach a back-to-back championship? It's not easy.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I'd have it'd just be like some King of the Court sessions. So we go up live sometimes. Whether it was with like Jaden Jackson, Stephen Polachek, any of them. Sometimes we're going like 5-on-5, having everybody show up and just letting them know what the offseason work is like.
Opportunities. What was the best opportunity that you felt you got from Bellevue West, and whether it's an activity, whether it's the sports? What do you think
Yeah.
Bellevue West gave you the opportunity to do?
I mean, basketball, they pushed me harder than I think any other school in the Midwest would push me. So I think it's just the workouts. They gave me a new work ethic.
When you look back and you think of the legacy that Eldon has left at Bellevue West, what are you remembered for?
Being the almost the cleanup guy. I got known as doing a lot of the dirty work. From time to time, I'm guarding the best defender. I'm the one that's on the floor, getting the offensive rebounds, the heartbreaking offensive rebounds. Just making the big plays almost and making plays for my teammates.
Who's your number one rivalry that you would say that you had through your time?
Miller North
And
for sure.
and a player as well. Who would be one that you would say that it would kind of go back and forth sometimes, since you have to guard some of those toughest?
Yeah. I mean, it's almost been since a really young age. Delron Thomas and Elijah Gaith, both of them, we've gone back and forth for a lot of years now.
Oh man, Mr. Thomas, man. When
Mhm.
that dude wants to take over, he takes over and he
Yeah.
makes it known. You
Yeah.
think and look across the stage of what's going on in basketball in this area. What do you think it all goes back to? I mean, if I think of the past 5 to 7 years, I think it's probably been some of the highest recruiting classes,
Mhm.
some of the highest recognitions to where you guys are in the top in the country, not just in
Yeah.
Nebraska.
Uh-huh.
What do you think it all contributes to, and what does it mean to be a part of that?
I mean, it's obviously like an honor to be part of it just because we're in one of the highest peaks of Nebraska basketball. We've kind of had it on the map for a few years back now. Freshman year, there were 3 teams in the top 20 for in the country for basketball, and I mean, I think we've had teams in the top 100, top 50 every year since then. So it's just nice to be a part of.
You think of all your games. What's probably one of your favorite teams that you've ever played that's non-Nebraska? And I say that because as a high school, you guys took on those challenges.
Hmm.
You went and traveled and played teams from Colorado. You went and played but it could be AAU, it could be high school. What's one of your two favorite basketball games that you remember non-Nebraska?
Yeah, Totino Grace was a real fun one when we went up to Minnesota at the start of this last season. That was a fun one. It was a dogfight for like the whole game, and um, it was a small gym, so it was a lot of like hype in the gym just from how small it was. So it was loud; you could hear everything. Um, Another one this year was against Sunrise Christian. That was a pretty fun one that nobody thought we would win when we go into it, but we ended up winning that one. So it's
Man, where was that one played at?
Grand Island.
Grand Island?
Yep.
You look at just the atmosphere of basketball. Who do you take your game after? Who's the one that you look up to?
I mean, there's a lot of people I study. I mean, Kevin Durant's my favorite player, but he's 7 foot, has
You're
yeah.
close, but I got you.
So I don't necessarily model my game so much after him. Devin Booker, he's really good off of ball screen, so I try to read his ball screen offense a lot. And then Darius Garland's another good one for me.
When you think of the future and you think of what's going on with basketball and the NAIA, obviously there is paying for students.
Mhm.
There's opportunities for you to make money. Has that all been talked to you, or are you just hearing the hearsay of outside,
I mean, it's a little bit of both.
the NIL and all that?
Yeah, I mean, you see it on the news, you learn about it. You take some classes that you hear about it in. Um, but yeah, I mean, the most I got taught about it was early in my high school career when it was freshman or sophomore year. So I mean, I wasn't even really thinking about it, paying attention that much when I was hearing about it. But yeah, I'm kind of digging into it more now since I'm about to be in college.
When you think of the COVID year,
Hmm.
did that hurt or help Eldon Turner? Did it make him different?
I think that's a tough one. I think overall it probably hurt me more just because of the COVID college players, their COVID year helped them a lot, so they get the extra year. And our class was the last class that had to deal with it, so our class kind of got skipped over with the recruiting process. But I mean, I obviously got to put on more weight just because of the extra time going into freshman year, and then I mean, I worked hard outside, out in my front yard with my dad, but yeah, it's not necessarily the same as being in a gym.
I like that you brought up the a factor that maybe some just don't mention when you think of that they get the extra year and they get all this. Did the Wayne State, when they talked to you about it, did they bring up any of that of, okay, we have maybe a guy who's going for his 5th year, or did they at least be open about that part of the process of what the players were going through?
Yeah, they did, but they kind of just kept it like steady with me. They just like said, this is what we want from you, whether these people are coming back, these people are leaving, you're gonna be this guy. So that's kind of what.
Current players down there, who have you been in contact with? Who's the one that kind of might have even helped kept you in the right of mind to make this decision?
Yeah. I mean, I already know a lot of people on the team just from being here locally and playing against them. JJ Farron and Evan Inselman are probably some of the big ones. David Harmon was, but he just got in the transfer portal. So I mean, it's kind of different now. But
what does the transfer portal mean to you? What do you think of it? What do you is it something that is even on your mind?
No, it's not on my mind at the moment, but it's just where players can go and get better or different opportunities.
Do you feel like it's helped the game or hurt the game?
It depends where you are, I guess. I mean, like I said about my class, a lot of the 24s didn't get the D1 opportunity that they would like, whether they wanted to be low major, mid major, high major, whatever. They just didn't get their opportunity. But yeah, I mean, it could also help the people that are been in college just because they got to
Well,
go around.
I like the fact of a couple things. There's a couple I like and a couple I don't. A couple I like is if coaches move, you have opportunity.
Yeah.
If your game is better than what it is, and there's true opportunity of people interested, you have the opportunity. But I had a guest at one time he brought up, he said it was almost like it's also an opportunity that will put you right where you're supposed to be.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You know, right where you want to be. Bad side is I mean, dedication. Sometimes you kind of lose, right?
Yeah.
Because you're like, well, if it ain't working out here, I can just go somewhere else.
Yeah.
But you could have done that anywhere, right? I mean,
yeah, that's true.
And you see at even Bellevue West, not everybody's path was the same as Eldon's, but a lot of your dogs are the 4 years students and not the 1 year transfer ins.
Yeah.
What does that mean to you to be a part of something like that instead of seeing how, I mean, it's the talk of the city. Oh, I see how it is. You go over to so-and-so school and now all of a sudden you think that's going to win. That's always got to be the talk when the summer comes.
Yeah, I mean, it's just building chemistry along the way, getting to know each other and almost having better relationships with the people along the way.
When you think of the AAU circuit, where's your favorite place to go play that you've had the opportunity?
I think Minnesota's always fun just because I like the officiating there almost. They let you play more physical, and even though I'm a smaller person, I like to play defense. So being able to play more physical defense lets me get more steals. So that's a lot of fun for me.
All right. As long as they can control it, though.
Yeah.
The refs control it. No matter what they say, they control it.
Yep.
When you think of Bellevue West, what's the class that 2024 is leaving? What is everything that you guys have put into that school? What do you feel like? What made it better to be a part of this class?
I mean, we were all in one. I mean, we had 10 people and we had 10 seniors, and all of us were close as could be. I mean, we were all family together. So we break down, we say family on 3, 1, 2, 3 family. So I mean, we were all one in however many.
Well, and I mean, how many of you are going to the next level? What is that like to see your your partners find their way, and how does that change the trajectory of communication?
Yeah, it's just nice to see that they're getting the opportunity they deserve. I mean, it's obviously going to be harder to talk to them when they're going however far away, but yeah, it's just nice to be able to see them get the opportunity.
Who's one impactful person at Bellevue West that you're gonna miss or want to go back and see when you go back?
Um, there's a few people, but I don't think I'm gonna name anybody just so
Okay.
I'm not hurting feelings.
It's all good. I understand. Any issues that you went through in high school as far as injury that you had to overcome? Was there any that you had to go through?
I mean, there was nothing that I didn't play through. I had shin splints for a lot of my high school career, like sophomore and junior year, and then a little bit of senior year. I had both of my ankles were sprained in the state championship junior year, but yeah, I mean nothing I didn't play through.
When you think of the shin splints, there's really nothing you could do, was there? Or is there anything that
I mean, ice and stretch. So yeah, that's what you could do for every injury in basketball.
you said ice and stretch? Wayne State, what are they getting? What is the Wayne State University getting when they get Eldon to come out there?
Again, a player who wants to win is going to do what it takes to win. I'll take whatever role I need to.
What's your next step? Do you know when you got to head out? What is there
Um,
some summer camps, some summer?
Yeah, there's some summer league games in the weekends of June, but yeah, I have the whole summer, so I'm not in a rush to be down there right now. But yeah, I'm just doing some lifting workouts and basketball workouts that they sent me. So
Giving back to the school, what's your thoughts of that? What all do you think you're gonna do as far as everybody always tries to possibly leave a little bit back, right, with
mhm.
younger kids? And is there anything Eldon's looking to do?
I mean, it'd be awesome if some of the kids are in the mindset of I want to be like Eldon, but just being like a
Is there some
mentor
camps you're
almost.
gonna go mentor and help out with?
Yeah, I'm gonna be at one of the kids camps in the next couple of weeks. So
Give back in that route.
yep.
When you think of the process and going through with your parents and your dad, his role slowly changing through your process. What's been the car rides home that's slowly changed through him
I
in the
mean,
years?
it's definitely been a lot of yelling. Um, he's he'll give you uplifting and he'll give you the constructive criticism you need to hear. So, I mean, he'll tell me where I need to be better and he'll tell me what I need to do to be better. So, I mean, just in different roles of that.
How do you think that construction criticism helped you be able to deal with adults in general, like teachers
Mhm.
and all that?
Yeah, I mean, my dad's been doing it probably since I first started playing team basketball. Um, it just let me learn how to take criticism and
So I think that's sometimes the hardest thing when you know you're good or you can be good
mhm,
is being able to go, how could I do just
yeah,
1% better,
yep.
right? And when you think back to obviously school, what are you looking to do at Wayne State? What's the major? What are you looking and
Um, I'm gonna major in exercise science. I'm thinking of being a physical therapist.
okay.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, you know the Inselmans, so
yeah, yeah,
that's a spot around the way.
yeah.
Achieve physical therapy. Man, I tell you, it's awesome to see what you guys have done at the school. It's great to see that. I mean, back to back championships. You guys left Woodard at a high. You guys brought in obviously not a new coach. The
Mhm.
assistant coach moves up. And what do you think was the biggest learning part to go where Woodard's not the head coach for you and your teammates?
I mean, it really was
For Klein.
kind of in the same system. They have they almost are the same, not the same person, but they have a lot of the same features when it comes to coaching. They might have a little tweak of a difference here and there, but I mean, when you've had a successful program like Bellevue West has, I mean, there's not a lot you need to change when you take over as the coach.
When's graduation day? Did you already go through it?
Nah, it's on the 25th, next Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's all that going to be like for you? What are you thinking of that day?
On to the next, just ready to be out of here.
Well, once again, I appreciate Eldon Turner coming out, telling his side of the story of the Bellevue West basketball and himself, his next journey to Wayne State. Remember, if you like this episode or any other, make sure to like, follow, and also make sure to watch these local athletes continue to get to the next level and show that if you want it, go get it because it's available. We appreciate you tuning in. Wired Access Podcast. We'll see you next time.